Samuel Newton.
Here.
Luann Hayes.
Here.
Todd McKenna.
Here.
William Hadley.
Here.
Dale Diddens.
Here.
Lynette Williams.
Here.
Adam Mottero.
Here.
Larry Jogers.
Here.
Brooke Deininger.
Here.
Scott Helms.
Present.
Jackie DeMeester.
Here.
Nicole Baker.
Present.
Steve Frick.
Present.
Brian Brandt.
Present.
Tim Whalen.
Yes, ma'am.
15 present, 1 absent.
I would remind everyone, please, to press the button on your microphone base when you're going to speak, as well as have the microphone in front of you if you would. Mr. Jogers, would you please lead us in prayer? Before I ask for an approval of the agenda, under Nursing Center, I will be removing approval of bad debt write-offs totaling $329,516.61. In the Nursing Home Committee meeting, Mr. Hadley had asked for verification of that. Administrator Newcomer did reach out to Matrix to make sure that those numbers were indeed valid. However, as most of you know, Matrix has ceased billing operations due to non-payment from last week. They're unwilling to provide that information at this time until they receive payment. So we are holding off on that until that can be verified. With that removed, is there a motion to approve the agenda? By Mr. Diddens. Is there a second? By Mr. Jogers. Is there any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, I have initiated the vote. Please vote. And that passes unanimously 15-0. Next is the consent agenda. Are there any items that any board member would like to have removed from the consent agenda? Give me 1 second, Mr. Hadley.
Yes.
Oh, hang on 1 second.
Yes, I would like to have E removed, please.
Letter E?
Yes.
All right. Any other items? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve A, B, C, and D? By Mr. Whalen, is there a second? By Mr. Brandt. Is there any discussion on A, B, C, or D? Seeing none, you may vote. And the consent agenda passes 15-0. Mr. Hadley, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. Could Dale come up here, please?
And Dale, if you would please press the microphone button on that. Right in the middle, yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Evening.
Good evening, Dale. Let's see, the engineer agreement here, they're going to do some work in engineering on 2 bridges, Bolton Road Bridge and Farwell Bridge. When's those scheduled to be done after the engineer's study? Is that next year budget item or?
No, I'm going after federal funds for it. And they haven't been programmed yet, so the earliest we could do it would be 2027.
Oh, okay.
I have to have a good estimate to program it first, so
Okay.
I'm waiting for this engineering to be done, get a good estimate, and then we'll program it. I'll probably do that in November,
Okay, so these could be scheduled on the 2027.
Correct.
time. Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Chairman.
All right, is there a motion to approve E unless there's any other comments for Mr. Rasmussen? Motion by Mr. Brandt,
okay.
second by Mr. Jogerst. Any comments, Mr. Jogerst? Just a second to the motion. All right, any discussion on letter E? Seeing none, you may vote. And that passes unanimously as well. We'll move on to public comment. If anyone would like to speak at public comment, please come up to the podium. If you would please state your name, and you'll be given 3 minutes. Don't start just yet, though, please. Mr. Louie. Just one moment, please. The clock in front of you will count up to 3 minutes.
Okay,
And when it hits 3 minutes, I would ask that you would please stop.
okay.
Okay, I see it.
Okay, ready?
If you would state your name, please. Let me make sure your
Good.
microphone is on. Is it
Okay.
green? Hang on one second. How about
Okay.
now? All right,
Good
go ahead.
Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Good evening. I am Molly Doolittle, homeowner on Stover Street in Freeport. I and some other Stephenson County homeowners were dismayed when the board dismissed the DCM company beloved by residents and employees. Since then, with no one in charge, conditions have gotten very bad. We urge you not to sell it for far less than it is worth. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello? Christopher Kluke, 128 North Bailey. And,
We're timing back here. Go ahead, Mr.
oh,
Kluge.
okay. How many of you have heard of the tale of the really good money managing Levite? Oh, wait, you haven't? Well, let me share it with you.
Excuse my reach.
A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell among robbers who stripped him and beat him and departed, leaving him half dead. Now, by chance, a priest was going down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. So likewise, a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he journeyed, came to where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. He went to him, bound up his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he set him on his own animal and brought him to an inn and took care of him. And the next day he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper, saying, "Take care of him, and whatever more you spend, I'll repay when I come back." Which of these 3 do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers? Tonight you get to decide who you are in that story. We have people at a nursing home who helped build this community into what it is today. We can leave them by the side of the road or not. We can decide that a service that they need is too much for us to bear or not. And let me put it this way. There's a reason I asked at the beginning, do you remember the tale of the money managing Levite? because nobody calls it that. Nobody says, this is the tale of the priest and the Levite who followed the law really well. Instead, it's the tale of the Good Samaritan. And what do we say when somebody helps their neighbor? We call them a Good Samaritan. What do we say when we talk about a law that makes sure that if I'm dying in the street, no one will ever be able to come along and make you sorry that you helped me? A Good Samaritan law. We're supposed to be neighbors here in Northwest Illinois. Illinois, Freeport's a city, but it's not a big city, and it's in a very rural area. And, I grew up in a small town, and small towns are supposed to be places where we make sure everybody gets cared for. The reasons that this doesn't make financial sense have been laid out by others. I'll just lay out that we're not neighbors if we make sure that the people who helped build this community are not cared for in their old age. We're the Levite and the priest. It doesn't really matter that the Levite and the priest had a good reason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Again, when you state your name, the timer will start, and it's right up in front of you.
My name is Brian Jones. I'm a resident of Winnebago County. Good evening. I am here to share critical information regarding our state's voter rolls and voter history from the 2024 general election. This information comes from extensive research conducted by a team of data experts at Unite for Freedom, a nationwide nonpartisan volunteer organization. Their team meticulously analyzed official election files from both federal and state sources. While I'm not an official spokesperson for Unite for Freedom, I am a dedicated volunteer who is deeply concerned by the findings that are based exclusively on official state election data. Our analysis of the certified results from both 2022 and 2024 general elections reveals that not all votes were valid and accurate under the law. These findings are substantial and warrant careful consideration. They have already been shared with state election officials and law enforcement agencies and have been submitted as evidence in federal court as part of an ongoing litigation by Unite for Freedom and other parties. Unite for Freedom is not alone in raising these concerns. Recent executive actions at the federal level, such as the executive order entitled Preserving and Protecting the Integrity of American Elections, underscore the urgent need to enforce and clarify existing election laws. These directives are intended to guide state compliance and ensure that election crimes are prosecuted because of the integrity of our electoral system as at stake. Therefore, we are here to seek your awareness, understanding, support, and action. We are proposing a resolution that highlights key statistics and calls for an end to inaccuracy and uncertainties that compromise our elections. By adopting this resolution, we will demonstrate your commitment to your constituents' concerns and your dedication of upholding voter civil rights in the integrity of our elections here in Stephenson County. It is imperative to address these issues now. If we do not act, the same election systems and procedures that led to errors in 2022 and 2024 will likely produce similar results in the upcoming 2026 general election. At this time, I will turn it over to our next reader to present the resolution. Thank you.
Come on down. Clock is in front of you and above, and again, it counts up to 3. As soon as you state your name, it will begin.
Very good. My name is Tom Kozik. I'm a resident of Kane County. To continue, I will now read the resolution entitled a resolution for a legally valid 2026 general election. Whereas free and fair elections form the cornerstone of the Republic of the United States, as stated in Reynolds v. Sims, the right to suffrage can be denied by a debasement or dilution of the weight of a citizen's vote just as effectively as by wholly prohibiting free exercise of the franchise. Whereas election officials bear the responsibility to ensure elections remain accurate and free from manipulation. In Coy, the United States Supreme Court affirmed that election officials must strictly adhere to federal and state laws governing process defining election misconduct as follows. The evil intent consists in disobedience to the law. Whereas our constitutional system of representative government relies on 4 fundamental principles for validity in our elections. Number 1, accurate voter rolls. Election officials must maintain voter registration lists that are current and correct, which include facilitating registration of eligible citizens as well as preventing registration of non-citizens, fictitious names, and ineligible applicants. National Voter Registration Act 1993. Eligible votes only. Election officials must only count votes cast by eligible citizen voters. U.S. Constitution 14th Amendment, Section 2. Number 3, vote reconciliation. Election officials must ensure that the number of votes counted matches the number of participating voters. Number 4, system accuracy. Voting systems must achieve accuracy standards set by Congress, limiting ballot counting errors to no more than 1 error per 125,000 ballots. And that's out of the Help America Vote Act of 2002. Election officials must substantiate assertions of accurate outcomes with transparent records. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment?
Hello, my name is Babe Poxtis and I am a resident of Cook County. I will continue the resolution. Whereas United Sovereign Americans conducted an independent audit of the 2024 general election data and uncovered alarming irregularities. Unite for Freedom's auditors directly measured 4,566,205 material registration errors and omissions in the voter database. 1,045,659 votes improperly counted from these ineligible or uncertain registrants. 56,164 excess votes counted beyond the number of voters who participated with no explanation for their origin. 1,045,613 voting violations exceeding the legal error threshold, where only 46 errors were allowed under federal law. I'll say that once more. In Illinois, we were allowed 46 errors under federal law, but we had 1,045,659. The audit findings indicate severe violations of state and federal election laws and potential fraudulent certification. Whereas election accuracy is defined as the ability to capture and report voter selections without error. By definition, only eligible citizens are voters. Election officials violate civil rights, undermine public trust, and jeopardize national security when they certify an election that fails to reach this standard. Whereas the irregularities in the official records of the 2024 general election call into question the validity of the election, threatening the guaranteed protection of our natural rights under a Republican form of government. This emergency inflicts immeasurable harm upon our families, our way of life, and the fabric of these United States. It raises the specter of false representation in U.S. Congress and state governments, an allegation that election officials are currently unable to disprove. Thank you.
My name is Terry Mercer. I'm a resident of Winnebago County, and I will conclude with the resolution. Therefore, be it resolved that Stephenson County Board members demand action to ensure legally valid and transparent 2026 general election by implementing the following measures. 1. Infrastructure compliance. Election officials must ensure that all voting systems meet Federal Information Security Modernization Act and maintain compliance throughout the election process. Voter verification. Verify all voters are legally eligible U.S. citizens before their votes are counted. If a voter's ineligibility is in question, a vote must be held as a provisional until legally verified. 3. Ballot security. Enforce all issues in counted ballots to comply with a robust chain of custody protocols to ensure ballots from forgery, tampering, coercion, destruction, or accurate counts. Ensure all voted ballots are received and every valid ballot is actually counted, with any material questions resolved through lawful adjudication process with oversight. 5. Proven outcomes. The elected officials must investigate and resolve, if necessary, re-administer any elections that cannot be proven. Accurate and compliant in every jurisdiction. Officials must provide records substantiating election and initiative results to citizens. Additionally, officials must securely store all ballots and operating records, including electronic records, to protect them for auditing purposes from tampering or alterations. Be it resolved that the Stephenson County Board calls upon county, state, and federal legislatures, law enforcement agencies, prosecutors, judge, and election boards to uphold these principles, ensure legal compliance, and restore public confidence in our election systems. Our signatures in this resolution affirm our commitment to protecting our constitutional mandate of legitimate representation, representative government, and ensuring that every valid vote is counted and accurate and lawful.
Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Loretta Savi, and I am a resident of Winnebago County. In conclusion, you have just heard a resolution that exposes significant inaccuracies from voter registration through the certification of the 2024 general election. It calls for immediate substantive action to ensure the integrity of the 2026 general election for all voters. The resolution is firmly grounded in multiple U.S. Supreme Court precedents, which underscore the necessity of these corrective measures. Our current election procedures do not fully comply with established laws, and these laws are too often disregarded. Some citizens, including elected officials, mistakenly believe that these issues can be ignored because the president, the current administration, and other officials are handling it. This complacency represents an abdication of civic responsibility. Benjamin Franklin's warning, "It's a republic if you can keep it," applies not only to this generation, but to ours as well. Your leadership and decisive action are urgently needed. Our voting system, which should protect our most fundamental right, the right to choose our representatives, is failing to deliver accurate, transparent, and verifiable results. Should we continue to ignore the anomalies within our election system, a system essential to our national security? The cost of inaction extends far beyond dollars. It threatens our economy, military, foreign policy, public health, the confidence of our youth, and our national dignity. The stakes could not be higher. I urge you to demonstrate your commitment to American representative government by passing this resolution. Let us consider the broader context. Many Americans, including a significant number of residents in Illinois and Stephenson County, have concerns about the reliability and transparency of our elections. While we all wish this were not the case, official government data substantiates these concerns, and the law requires that they be addressed to safeguard our liberty. Regrettably, government representatives at various levels have not been transparent or responsive to citizen audits of the official election data. The right to choose our representatives through lawful and transparent elections is the cornerstone of our constitutional republic, a right fiercely defended for over 2 centuries by the sacrifices of our brothers, fathers, mothers, sisters, and for some of us, our children. Today, you have the opportunity to uphold that legacy and demonstrate to your constituents that you value American liberty by passing this resolution.
Hi, my name is Dean Barker from Winnebago County. It's worth noting that we have been here before. About a year ago, Unite for Freedom, some of the same people that presented today, presented a resolution for a legally valid 2024 general election. We presented here in 50 other counties across the state of Illinois. A year ago, we presented a scorecard that from the 2022 general election. Today, we present a scorecard from the 2024 general election. And it shows that the number of apparent violations and number of seemingly invalid votes are increasing. We've presented a lot of information today, so let me summarize. We are here asking the county board to support the work Unite for Freedom is doing in our effort to hold the state election authorities accountable. Signing our resolution would demonstrate that you stand with us as we demand a fair, valid, and certifiable elections. I realize this issue may need to go on the agenda for the board and discuss and vote on it. In that case, we ask that you invite us back and place this issue on the agenda so we can provide a more detailed presentation and answer any questions the board may have. Contact information for the state chapter director is included in the documentation provided right here. For information, the Unite for Freedom website information videos explaining anomalies, apparent legal violations, and lawsuits identified in Illinois and other states. I encourage you to visit uniteforfreedom.com. That's unite, the number 4, freedom.com to learn more about this vital issue. Thank you for your attention and consideration. And may I present 3 copies of this? Who would like?
Of course.
Who would I give it to?
The clerk, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else?
Thank you. My name is Joshua Atkinson. I'm a proud resident of Freeport here in Stephenson County. I'm not here to cause a scene. I'm here to speak plainly. For several years, some of you have fought to sell our nursing home. And for several years, countless residents have fought back, spending their time, money, and reputations to protect it. Why? Because our elderly deserve to be cared for in their community, by their community, and to remain part of their community. I have one question before you vote. What input has this board sought from Freeport's leadership? Freeport represents over half of this county. Were they included in this conversation? Now let's cut through the spin. I've heard the claim that the nursing home loses an estimated $500,000 a year. But between the county and the city of Freeport, we already hand entities like the Greater Freeport Partnership about $500,000 a year. And in their own reports, they can't point to one real achievement. Add that to the estimated $120,000 this board pays Brian Stewart for a space in his clubhouse, while Freeport sits full of empty buildings, some owned by the government. So let's be clear, this is not about money, it's about priorities. And every vote tonight to sell this nursing home tells the people of this county that things like Pretzel Fest, Music on Chicago, your offices in the Ivory Tower, are more important than the care and dignity of the parents and grandparents of everybody in this room. This is unacceptable, And if you cast this vote, shame on you.
Anyone else?
Excuse me. My name is Cody Dornis. I'm the staff representative for Local 2399, representing the workers at Stephenson County Nursing Home. It's been no secret we are against the privatization of the nursing home, and I've spoken many times about it. But tonight I want to address a couple issues, a couple things I've recently heard, and shed some light on some other misconceptions. Last week's nursing committee, I heard multiple statements regarding IDPH and the ability to fast track. Speaking with a representative from the Health Facilities Service Review Board, there is no fast tracking process, and it clearly states the process in which it must be completed and the timeframes in which it must do so. To follow up on that, the HFSRB is the determining board that will decide whether or not the sale is approved. And according to the email I received this morning, this is the first they're hearing of it. Mike Constantino from the HFSRB says, I have no knowledge of the Stephenson Nursing Center being sold, and there has been no request for an expedited approval. Concerning the agreement that Serenity Estates is willing to enter with the county to manage under their license until it's determined if the board will approve the sale, Mike Constantino also says they cannot enter into an agreement before the state board approves it. I really think this is something that we should consider before moving forward. I've talked a lot about whether or not Serenity Estates has what the board refers to as character for the sale, but I think there's a couple more things to mention. In the past 3 years, the federal government has fined homes owned by Serenity Estates $350,000 and has also denied payments 3 times during that period. Serenity Estates, like most private nursing homes, operates with multiple companies in their organizational structure, obscuring who truly owns and runs the nursing home. The transparency the residents of this county have come to expect is no more. Diving into the experience of the buyers, such as Strawberry Fields, Bria Health Services, Infinity Healthcare Solutions, homes managed by these companies during this time have low CMS ratings for abuse, health inspections, and staffing. While the research is unclear which homes were overseen by John during his role as regional VP of operations at Infinity Healthcare Management, but over the past 3 years, those homes have were fined nearly $5 million. I'll say it again, $5 million. I have plenty more of information like this. Anybody wants it? There's 3 pages we can all read through before you make your vote. Residents of this community rely on the Stephenson County Nursing Home. Quoting a board member during the last sale attempt, the community members who only have Medicaid as their only source of insurance would have to, most likely, go to outside local area, which would be a travesty. I've heard the promises of keeping the beds, the staff, and the safety net, but I can only speak personally about the staff portion. Despite the county administrator giving Serenity Estates my contact information twice, I've heard nothing from them. So if they can't keep one promise about the staff, how can we guarantee they're going to keep other promises? Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Brenda. I've been with this facility for 11 and a half years and been with these residents for that long. At that time, I was one of those who wanted to keep our facility. But now that I have a better outlook on what is going on and for us to keep going, we need to sell this to Serenity Estates and let them take over for us so our residents can continue to stay where they belong. We would all hate to see this close, and I would not like to see our residents have to move and to see what it would do to them and their health. Please, everyone, look at the long picture and see how much debt we are in and what Serenity Estates can do for us. Thanks, and I hope you take this seriously. Let Serenity Estates take over so our residents can remain where they are, and I have trust in what they can do. Thank you.
Anyone else? Come on up.
Oh, it's right there. Do I have to press the button?
Nope, you don't have to do anything but state your name.
Okay, my name is Scott Hockstead. I am actually the interim administrator at Stephenson Nursing Center. I don't have any prepared comments, but I want to address a couple of things that I think is on everyone's mind. This industry that we're in, and I've been in the industry for about 23 years, and I love it. My father has Alzheimer's. I've been dealing with it as a family member as well for the better part of the last year. But our industry has changed so much since I started 23 years ago. It is harder and harder and harder for single owner operators to operate in this industry. It is almost impossible now. The climate for us, both on the regulatory side and the financial side, is incredibly challenging without additional resources. And when I say resource, we're not necessarily always talking about money, but we're talking about the resources of people that know how to operate a nursing home. And I'm not saying, because again, I don't know everyone here, but I'm not saying that the county has not done a fantastic job, because it obviously has. But the residents that are there now, the employees that are there now, they need expertise. They need individuals that understand our system, that understand the payment models, which are incredibly complex, and understand the regulations, which are incredibly complex. I know that there was talk just a few minutes ago regarding fines for nursing homes. I can't agree or disagree with that because I don't know. But the regulatory climate in this industry has been very challenging, as it has for Stephenson Nursing Home, which also has faced very high fines over the last few years. And part of that is because they need people like the folks at Serenity that understand this industry. We talk about Medicaid, and I have not much time left. Medicaid is a payer that almost all nursing homes accept. They're not going to leave that building. The people of this community will still have their nursing home. They'll have their nursing home. They will have the residents there. They will have the employees there. I've done this for a long time. I've been through many transactions, both on the operator side and as an employee working for a building that was bought out. I have not experienced anything but positivity in any of the things that I've been through. I've been at this facility for 2 weeks. I love the people there. And I want to stay there as long as I can, because I think it is really a wonderful place with wonderful residents and really amazing staff. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Allison Broman-Kahn. I also live in Winnebago County in Pecatonica, but I'm very close emotionally and geographically to Stephenson County. Excuse me. So I really appreciated what Scott Hockstead had to say. He has given a ringing endorsement for bringing transitional care management back into the picture. He acknowledged difficulty in a solitary nursing home functioning well and capably. Transitional care management. Scott, I don't know you wherever you are in here. This is something that you need to look at. They successfully managed the fiscal ins and outs of the nursing home for as long as we had a contract. They provided us with a very capable administrator. Our relationship with them was collaborative. They didn't own the nursing home. The county, the public, the citizens of Stephenson County still own the nursing home. TCM, Transitional Care Management, was a helper, and a very, very capable helper. They provided us with the network that you, Scott, feel is necessary for one little nursing home to be able to function. So thank you for that endorsement of transitional care management and resuming our relationship with them. Thank you very much, Scott.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Annette Williams, and I have worked at the nursing home for 30 years. This is hard. I have been against it forever, and I am now for it. We are looking at a $2 million debt. That is like impossible to come back from. It just is. And it's been many different things. Mr. Helms touched on it at the very beginning about matrix care. They are set to cut us off. That's just one of our vendors. If they cut us off, what they do is they provide our med pass, they provide patient records, they provide all of our nurses' notes, they provide every aspect of patient care in the nursing home, and they're going to be gone. How do you even begin to function like that? And that's just one vendor. That's not all of them that are threatening to cut us off. Again, it is about money. Unfortunately, it is, even though we would love to say it's not. It just is. I have had, like I said, I've been there for 30 years. My grandmother was a resident there. She died there. My father-in-law was a resident there, and he died there. I get it. I get what the people of Stephenson County are saying. I do. But if we don't do something drastic, it's going to be gone. There's no way we can stay open. And if we can't stay open, it's going to be COVID all over again. I was on one of the buses that took the residents to Naperville. And at that time, nobody locally would take them. Am I saying that that's going to happen this time? No, I'm not, because we don't know. But the issue is, regardless, if they're going 50 miles away or if they're going 3 miles away, the staff don't know them at that facility. We know them. We love them. Trust me, we love them. I had a resident that came in today and said, well, you might think I'm a pain in the butt. And I'm not saying his name, obviously. But I said, when have I ever said that? And he goes, well, never. And I said, because I don't feel that way. And he goes, well, I know, but, and that's just that's the relationship we have with them. You take any of those residents and put them anywhere else. And like I said, that might be 3 miles away. They do not know those residents. They don't know how to take care of them. And unfortunately, again, it is all about money. And it's sad. I get it. But we have to deal with what we have to deal with. Unfortunately.
Sorry, but your 3 minutes are up.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Okay, my name is Kendra Martinez. I'm HR at Stephenson Nursing Center. I want to start this off by telling you all that I do have 4 children. I currently have 2 girls in their senior year. I have now missed 2 volleyball games to come here and discuss this issue with you. I tell you this because seeing my daughter play volleyball in her last year is extremely important to me, but so is coming here to talk about my employees and our residents. I was asked why some of us chose to speak now. It's simple. The staff who know all the facts know that we must sell in order to keep our doors open. The only smart option is to sell. Once again, TCM cannot save us. They are not what some of you people assume they are. The county cannot give us money. Even if they could, things would have to radically change in order for us to stay afloat, or we will be back in the same boat. Yes, the vendors are threatening to pull out, and if we don't approve the sale tonight, Stephenson Nursing Center will lose key services for our residents. which will close our doors and the place will just sit abandoned until someone decides to buy it and make it whatever they choose. What gets me is that the people boycotting this are not helping at all, and the sad part is they say it's supposedly to help the people or the residents. But what people it's certainly not helping is the residents or the staff at Stephenson Nursing Center. Also, the information that you talk about, I'm not sure where you get it, but no one has ever come in to us and talked to the managers who run this on a day-to-day basis. Not a single person has come in and asked us exactly what is going on. We run this facility every day. We know exactly what is happening. If you continue to go down this path, please know that you will get Please know that when you need to go into a nursing home, we won't be around. So I do hope that you like the other ones in town. With Serenity Estates taking over, SNC is going to get a remodel, a benefit for the residents and staff. The county cannot afford that. Staff are going to get raises, and we are going to get newer software. The county cannot afford that. With Serenity Estates, we will be able to provide the same care, but with more benefits to both residents and staff. Please tell me, why would you not want that? Why would you not vote yes for that? And why would you back off? Why won't you back off and let the nursing center thrive?
Anyone else?
Hello, I am Monica, the infection control wound care nurse. I've been up here many times over the years on the other side. I work at the nursing home, so I know exactly what's going on, unlike most people in this room. So I have changed sides to be for the sale. I have worked at Stephenson Nursing Center, not Walnut Acres, Stephenson Nursing Center, on and off for 18 years. 15 of those years have been spent at the facility. The times that I left, I went and worked for corporate nursing homes. I have come to realize I don't think the difference in care comes down to whether or not a facility is corporate or county owned. I believe it is the staff that works there. And the quality of care that we hold our staff to is unmatched to other places I have worked. I do not think that will change just because the name on the front of the building changes. The culture at SNC is resident first. It always has been. That is why most of the staff at the facility are for the sale. I believe the only staff that would be against the sale are those that do not have all of the information available. The only other option besides selling would be to close. In the last couple of weeks, there have been financial discussions with the dietary company, the EMR system, which is Matrix that Annette spoke of, the pharmacy, the agency staff, and the DME supplier. We have had threats that all of those companies will pull, and we have made bargains with all of them that they're going to pull out if it's not a yes tonight. So that's the situation that we're in. If the sale does not go through, they will pull out immediately, which will cause us to have to evacuate the residents to different facilities. There is no time to do anything. These companies will pull out, and our residents will have to leave. You can blame whatever reason you like for why we are in this position today, but the end result is that we are here, and Serenity Estates is giving us a viable option to continue to provide care to the residents we are trying to protect. I am not sure why any vote would be a no to the sale unless there are ulterior motives. The only way a person would vote no to the sale is that it is not their wish to put the residents and staff first. I can only hope that any political agenda or wishing we would have gone a different way will not get in the way of keeping our residents in their home. I work at the facility almost every day. I work doubles. I work 16 hours, 20 hours. I work nights. I work weekends. I'm there so much the family members joke that I live there. I would like to ask that the earlier definition of neighbor be reevaluated. In all of those long and frequent hours, I have not seen one person that has come up here and made comments against the sale come to visit us. Not to see the residents, not to ask us how things are going, and not to find out true facts instead of false allegations they have heard from someone who has also not been at the nursing home to ask. I am saddened that so many community members have not found out what is really going on. A true neighbor checks in. A true neighbor does welfare checks. Think about how you were invested in something you really know nothing about. I hope to see all of you at the facility. I'm excited to meet my neighbors. A private citizen filed an injunction today to try and stop this vote. He put his own entitled agenda before the well-being of 50 residents. He did not, yes?
I apologize, but your 3 minutes are
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else?
I wasn't going to, Ed Klein, you all know me. I wasn't going to say anything, but there has been just too much misinformation floating around. I have been involved trying to save this home since 2017 in a big way. In that time, the chairman of the Nursing Center Committee came to us and said, what can we do? They just keep wanting to sell it. The Nursing Center has been starved of funds. The county has enough money to pay all the bills, could have paid all the bills anytime. You have decided not to pay the bills. There is $8 million in the general fund right now. There is $8 million. It's off the county website. $8 million in the general fund. There is no reason for anybody to be afraid that somehow the residents are going to leave. This is your choice not to pay the bills. 2 years ago, when TCM started their management, all those bills should have been paid up. They should have been paid up. They should have just started from a level spot and moved forward. That was a decision that you made not to do that. I don't understand it. It has made, obviously it's made some people really, really nervous. I would be if I worked at a place and people didn't want to pay the bills. That's just absurd. I don't understand it. This is absolutely money, and this has got to do with whether this board decides to spend the money they need. What is really a shame is that the money that this nursing center owns has astronomically increased since TCM was fired. When they were fired, there was about a $900,000 what was owed was about $900,000. It's now 2.3. How did that happen? It certainly happened because nobody was running the ship. And that was a choice. That was a choice of this board to just say, well, then we're going to go on our own and somehow everything's going to work out. I don't know if you caught it, but Cody said that Serenity Estates cannot manage this facility. Even if they buy it, until they get certified, they cannot manage it. So I have no idea what you're going to do in the meantime. It's just bizarre. This is just bizarre. We need a referendum. We've said it how many times, and people just ignore it. I thought the way we work with our democracy is that people get to vote, and yet you refuse to actually just let the people vote on this. I absolutely I'd be crushed if it went down in a referendum, but it would be the people's choice, and that's what they should have had. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? All right, seeing none, last chance. We will move on to new business. First item up is the approval of payment to Illinois Department of Public Health for Type A violation at Stephenson Nursing Center. Administrator Newcomer, if you would please press your button. If you would please present.
Yes, we were made aware of a $25,000 fine to the Illinois Department of Corrections. They also placed a condition on the nursing home's license due to plans of correction not being filed after the annual survey. There is a 35% discount that can be applied if the payment is approved at tonight's meeting.
What's the pleasure of the board? Anyone?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Diddens to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
By Mr. Whalen. Discussion. Is there, Mr. Hadley, hang on, let me get your light. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Georgia, I got a question, and hopefully you can answer it. Who was in charge at the time of the plan of correction required. Who was supposed to do that?
Marcos Perez was the administrator at the time.
And there was nobody supervising him that says, hey, this has got to get done?
I guess if the administrator, I guess, reports to me, but I don't know the inner workings of the nursing home, and correspondence with him was that things were being taken care of. I had checked in with him numerous times after surveys and after the state had been in the building. Kind of the same correspondence I got with my checking in with him with the cost report and other things as I was being told they were being taken care of.
Well, this is sad that, I'm going to vote to support this because we got to pay it. But, firing TCM was the mistake that the board made. I didn't make that mistake. We wouldn't be dealing with this tonight. That's all I have to say, Chairman.
Mrs. Williams, go ahead.
Where's the money coming from?
That is a great question. Any thoughts?
Honestly, no. Haven't looked at it, but that's my question.
If it's not paid, if it's not reduced, first of all, and it's not paid, it will come out of Medicare and Medicaid reimbursements.
So
they will just take the funds before it's submitted to the Stephenson County.
So we would, because aren't we like penalized if it's not done, like we approve this and then we write the check? So I guess my question is, can you write the check tomorrow?
I can answer more unless I'm giving incorrect information. I'd ask Mr. Hochstad to step in, but the 35% decrease in the penalty expires in the 10-day window if it's not paid.
And are we in the 10-day window?
We currently are until the weekend. I believe it would have to be mailed out tomorrow.
Oh, it has to be mailed out tomorrow. Oh, that ought to be fun. Okay.
If I'm reading it correctly.
Do we have any money?
So there is currently, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
About $116,000, give or take, in the account that was being held as dollars to make sure we covered payroll. But that would be where the money would be coming from if we choose to go with the 35% discount.
Otherwise, we don't make payroll, which I'm imagining is tomorrow or next week?
A week from tomorrow. However, the funds have to be available by Wednesday of next week at the latest. We did not cover payroll this past. There were not enough funds available for payroll. We were about $400 short last Friday.
Right.
So the repayment of the interfund loan that was approved in January, the payment to TCM, the repayment of that was not done to cover payroll. But the facility did not have enough revenue dollars to cover it.
So TCM didn't get paid?
Pardon?
TCM didn't get paid? Or no, that was an interdepartmental loan, you said, right?
It's not technically an advance on their levy, but that's what I will call it for this purpose. We advanced dollars on the levy that they would normally receive in July through October, that $500,000, give or take. That was advanced in January on the demand of TCM to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
The nursing home is required to repay that, quote unquote. So instead of the distribution being made to the nursing home by the treasurer, those funds would go back to the general fund, which fronted those dollars. That payment to the general fund was not made so that payroll could be paid last Friday.
And I'm following you, what you're saying, yes.
There are only so many more opportunities between now and October to repay that not interfund loan. You have me saying it now, that advance on the levy. So what I would say is there's no other opportunities to cover payroll at this point with those dollars, with what's left. Those are budgeted dollars that were used. And some other individual had made a comment, there's $8 million in the general fund. There's $8.6 million of budgeted expenditures coming out of the general fund for the remainder of this fiscal year that expires December 31st. They're already budgeted dollars. There's not $8 million just hanging out there waiting for somebody to use it. They're budgeted expenditures that were approved by this body in November of last year. Does that answer your question?
You did.
Anything else?
No, sir, not at this time.
Anyone else have comments? All right. Seeing none, the motion on the floor is to approve. You may vote. And that does pass unanimously. Next item for new business is the approval of the engagement letter for Erdo Werwis LLC, and the administrator will be handling that as well. Can you please press your button?
So on the same day that we received the fine that was just approved, we also received notification of a staffing violation fine in the amount of $1,655,000, $1,655,348.44, I believe. This is in relation to the cost report not being filed for the second quarter. What they do is they take the number of licensed beds in the facility and fine you for every bed in the facility being not staffed at all because of the failure of the cost report being submitted. Previously, we did engage with this firm to help us with a fine larger than this one, and they were successful at reducing that significantly. I've spoke with Mr. Larson, and the engagement letter before you is for them to be able to handle this on behalf of the county, to submit the information that was not submitted and make sure that I misspoke, it was not the cost report, it was the PBJ for the second quarter. So that information is being comprised, put together, and provided to the attorneys if this is approved to combat that fine, or to prove the staffing was at its levels that it should be.
Motion by Mrs. Baker. Is there a second? By Mr. Diddens. Any discussion? Go ahead, Mr. Hadley.
Yes, I've been examining the paperwork here earlier. You sure this is the cost report or the payroll basic journal?
As I just corrected myself, it is the PBJ, which is the payroll-based journal.
Okay, that's what I thought. Now, let me ask you something. I looked at this report. Who was on duty that was supposed to do this report?
That would have been Mr. Marcos Perez as well.
Okay.
There's also correspondence that insured us as well as HR at the facility and other staff at the facility that he was submitting it and handling it.
So, I don't know if anybody's looked at this report, but this is a report for 3 months. And if you look at this report, it's, well, what's missing out of this report is the census. It shows 000 through the whole 3 months that we didn't have no census. So the state, I did some checking with the state, and the state goes and looks at our census and calculates this at 150 people, since we did not put down the census. And if you look at this report, there's SK and INT. That's where you would put the census down for like different residents. But who in a report would put down the same hours and the same hours for 90 days? Unbelievable, unbelievable. You know the census changes every day. We know the hours change every day. This was a failure that could have been stopped if we had TCM out there. Unfortunately, they were fired, and now we're paying the price to hire a law firm. Very sad deal. That's all I have to say, Chairman.
Mr. Whalen, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would remind this entire board, I'm sick and tired of hearing about how great situation was prior to Marcos Perez coming on board. Everyone on this committee, everyone on this board hired that man. He snowed everyone here, including our previous management company. They were all for hiring him. Now, they were asked if they wanted to continue in the process of managing the billing. They did not want to do that. They declined. That is why they are not here. So please stop with this. If they were still here, they wouldn't have been managing those aspects of the operation. We had a man that we put in charge to do that. He failed. He did a terrible job after snowing us that it was going to be great. Thank you.
Anyone else? So the motion on the floor is to approve the engagement letter with Erdo Werwis LLC. Go ahead and vote, please. And that passes unanimously. The next item is the approval of the sales agreement for Stephenson Nursing Center Walnut Acres. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the contract in its entirety? Very good. Is there a motion on the floor? By Mrs. Baker, seconded by Mr. Whalen. Is there any discussion? Go ahead, Mr. Bush.
I guess my question is to Carl. There's been some comments about Serenity not being able to take, even if we vote for them tonight, that they couldn't hold, they couldn't take over the operation of the nursing home. How true is that?
I have no knowledge of that. They've submitted, and I guess part of it is there's a number of moving pieces with this agreement. There's the agreement to purchase, and then as a part of that agreement, there's an agreement that they'll take over the management on September 1st. Certainly, they nor we would have that happen if the appropriate licenses weren't transferred. Or if they didn't have the approval to do that. But that's the agreement that we have right now.
Anything else, Mr. Bush?
Well, I just want to make a comment that I did go out to the nursing home today and talk to Monica and another lady today about the nursing home, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I think the best way to find out anything is go to the source itself. I'm not a follower, so I'm going to find out for myself. As most of you know, that I always have been a strong opponent against selling the nursing home, but every day something keeps coming up about the nursing home. It's like we're playing a chess game here, and we're dealing with people's lives, to where that we need to really make a strong decision here, what we got to do here. I'm not happy about it, but, and then keep hearing about TC&M. I never was, I was for TC&M, but after a while, no. And listen to some of the couple employees that I talked to this morning, well, I put it like this, they weren't happy about them either. And as I always stated, I was more or less in favor of the workers. I wasn't in favor of no party. Some parties I thought that there was a joke, but I was more for the workers. So with the workers finally started speaking out, that changed my mind. And I don't look at it like the nursing home gonna close or people gonna move or whatever, but if we don't do what we're supposed to do, they will leave. So therefore, I'll be voting yes on this tonight.
Anything else, Mr. Bush? Okay. Mr. Hadley, go ahead.
Yes. Do we have the attorney here that drew up this document?
We did have him available from 6:30 to 7:30. He's traveling.
Okay.
Pulsonell, you can try to call him and see if he's available, please. You can call him on yours. If you press your microphone button, we'll just hold it up to the microphone.
Hello, I'm going to put you on speakerphone to the whole board, okay?
Ask him to introduce himself, if you would, please.
If you would introduce yourself first, and we'll go from there.
Oh, am I on?
You're on.
Hi, good evening. This is Anthony DeMonte from Pulcinelli. Here to answer any and all questions you have.
Go ahead, Mr. Hadley.
Yeah, I got a few questions here. On page 39, I know you'll probably have to get to page 39. I'll give you a chance to get to it.
Section 5.21 collections.
We're talking about the asset purchase agreement,
It's a section under
purchase sale
collections of
agreement.
accounts receivable, section 5.21.
All right, 1 second.
That's correct, isn't it, Mr. Hadley?
Okay, I've got it up.
Will you explain A, B, and C to us, or me at least?
Absolutely. Okay. Make sure I am. This is section 5.21.
2.1.
5.21, got it. All right. Okay, so A is we are giving, as part of the transaction, what we're giving to the buyer is a right to receive reimbursement for services that were provided prior to the turnover of operations, which is proposed to happen on September 1st. We have a certain amount of AR, with where we're always trailing with Medi or Medicare, Medicaid funds. However much it is, it's part of the deal that it becomes buyer's assets, essentially. That's what Section A says. Section B gives the buyer the right to come in and bill for services that they're going to perform starting on September 1st. That's also covered separately in the management operations transfer agreement, but that's quite simply what B says. And then C, like Charlie, let me read that one. Section C is what's called a tie-in period. We are giving the buyer a license to operate a nursing home is not assignable. They have to file their application and receive their own license at some point. Our provider status, or enrollments is what they call it, with the Medicare and CMS, managed care programs and Medicaid. Those enrollment status, the numbers, et cetera, are assignable. In fact, they have to be assigned. Otherwise, buyer comes in as a manager, or when they get their license, they won't be able to bill until all the administrative things happen at CMS, and the Medicare and Medicaid program sort of catches up. And sometimes it takes many months. And so we're giving the buyer the right to bill under our provider agreements numbers, and to do that so long as until such time as they receive both their license as well as what's called their tie-in notice, meaning that they will have completed the direction of the receivables for their care provided after 9/1 to be provided in whatever operating bank account they start off. So that's what Section C says. Essentially gives them the right to this transitional tie-in period, which is critical to be able to transfer, jump from horse to horse while they're moving, so to speak, to make the transition of licensure and provider enrollments.
Okay. Going on the back page of owner real property, what's that? What are we going to put in there? That's all the way to the back of the agreement, assuming liability, assuming contract schedule, owner real property. Is that all the property that we own at the nursing home?
Yes, but if you don't mind, did you say last page, or which page or section are we talking
Well, it
about?
doesn't have a number.
Oh,
It's
Wh-
all
which-
blank. Like
sorry?
something has to be added in there.
Which page?
Well, it's not marked, it's all the way back. It says owner, real property.
What's the page before that?
Let me do a
Mr.
search
Hadley?
for it. Hold on, give me 1 second.
It's just all blank pages. Well, there's assuming contract schedule. Assuming liability is all filled in.
I'm not.
Page
I'm not-
70. Page 70.
Page 70. Thank you. Hold on 1 second. I'll jump there.
Thank you.
Of course, it'll be page 70 of our PDF.
Yeah, 70.
Okay.
It's Appendix 3, Tony?
Got it. All right. Appendix. Oh, okay. Yes. So what'll be put in there is a description, a legal description of the real property that we're selling to the buyer. That'll be inserted when the contract is finalized, which will be on or before September 1st from the buyer's side. You know, these exhibits will catch up. We're trying to move quickly here so that we can turn over on September 1st and stop the bleeding, so to speak. One of my partners, Amber, is working with, and George has connected us with the surveyor. We have a neighbor across the street from you guys, title company, who is helping us. And I don't believe, I've been out for a couple of days, I don't believe there is the language of the description of the real property hasn't been finalized yet, but it certainly will be in the next day or two.
So we're going to approve this tonight without that in there. Will the board get to see that too?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Unfortunately, that should probably been done, but I'll keep on going on. I'm going to the business associate agreement. Can you explain, pardon me?
Did you say the business associate agreement? Sorry?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the second document that, well, I mean, it's all going to be approved in one. What's that for? Can you tell me? I mean,
absolutely. The business associate agreement is ever since the HIPAA laws for privacy protection for health records, or what they call private health information, or PHI. When you take anybody on who is not an employee or part of like a licensee company's entity, you know, employee, officer, director, et cetera. If you bring in a vendor or you hire somebody, which we're doing here, we're bringing the buyer in as a manager to be able to turn the building over to them on September 1st. We have to have an agreement with them that says that they will respect and protect and discharge the same obligations we have under the HIPAA laws to keep private and confidential the patient care records, which is which of course everybody will do. There's not a lot. It's basically a form that has pretty much existed ever since the HIPAA laws were passed. There's not a ton of negotiating or fine tuning with it, but it's something that nobody cares about it unless you don't have it. I guess is probably the best way to say it. Pardon that if that sounds a bit dismissive.
okay, sir, I got it. I'm familiar with what you told me. And then on the management operation transfer agreement, it was brought to our attention that this might not be enforceable because of the state of Illinois. Could somebody, can you give us some information on that?
Well, I think what you're referring to is we had originally proposed to try to accelerate the moment where we could get our purchase price as the seller, to do the deal in 3 phases. We then got some feedback, I think, from Assistant State's Attorney that said we are a type of county in Illinois where we are not able to lease property And so therefore we had to kind of change it from a 3-phase transaction that could have accelerated our purchase price before the buyer gets their license to now just condensing it to a 2-phase where we're turning over the operations to them under this management operations transfer agreement. And then the deal will close and we will get our money and the real estate title will transfer when the buyer gets their provisional license from the Illinois Department of Public Health. And at that point, the real estate title will be in a position where we're able to give a deed. So we were trying to accelerate in a 3-phase approach and learn that we could not do that because it would require us to sublet as the licensee after buyer purchased the real property while they were still awaiting approval of their license application. But since we can't do that, then we had to simplify and just go back to 2 phases.
Okay, sir, could you walk us through the steps that takes place, through the Health Facility Service Review Board?
Of course, the basic, steps. First of all, we're turning over on September 1st to the buyer and under this management operations transfer agreement. They don't have their license yet. They won't own the real estate. The contract that we put together, or the fee structure under this, step 1, let's call it, is a dynamic fee. And by that, I mean that the buyer takes on all the financial responsibilities and gets whatever, if any, benefit that they can generate during their management period. So they'll have taken over all of the financial responsibilities if they have to reach into their pocket, even though they're just a manager, to take care of the operating costs. That's what they're required to do. If they get a profit, that becomes their fee. So we're emulating essentially a closing, although we don't get the purchase price because we have to wait for our step 2 will be within 5 days, I believe, of the management operations transfer agreement going into effect on September 1st. The buyer will submit 2 applications. For purposes of simplicity, probably best, I'm happy to go into greater detail, but to try to the whiteboard, let's call it the phases here. The buyer will submit 2 applications to become or to receive a license to operate the facility as our successor. Once the state of Illinois, prior to January of this year, was remarkably efficient and one of the fastest in the country in terms of turning those license applications around. Typically was done in 30 days or less. Unfortunately, as of January 1st, the state has migrated to an online portal digital submission. And ironically, even though it was created to make things more efficient, it slowed things down. So we're looking at probably 3-4 months until they receive their license, as well as another approval that they'll be seeking for under what's called a certificate of need, because we're a particular type of county-run nursing home. Well, let's call those the approvals. Once the buyer gets those approvals, they've got 5 days to file those applications and are required by the contract to diligently follow up and answer any questions that IDPH would have. The timeline, speculative, is unfortunately not a couple of weeks, but it's a handful of months. Once those approvals come in, then the deal we'll call hard close. The real estate will transfer. We will receive our purchase price, and then at that point, the buyer will be the licensee. We're completely off the risk. The only thing that's left of the deal at that point is we have to wait for another several months where buyer will be billing under our provider numbers and agreements until, as I mentioned earlier in the call, until the buyer receives the mechanical tie-ins to their new account. At that point, the management operations transfer agreement, which is created to kind of bridge to the end of that, the moment they receive their tie-ins, then that closes down and the deal is set.
So, sir, I'm asking you a question about the review board. Of course, they have the final say of selling the nurse. They could deny the sale of the nursing home like they did in DeKalb. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
It has. I certainly would be not telling you the truth if I didn't admit that. Yes, they where their approval is sought, they have the ability and discretion to accept or deny. I don't have any particular reason to believe that they wouldn't approve, but my partners in our Chicago office are fairly in the mix in terms of dealing with those approvals and don't anticipate any problem. But if there were specific questions about that process, I'm happy to get one of my partners to address it. Any specific concerns. It's not that I'm ignorant of that stuff, although I'm the business or the deal lawyer. But I've talked to our compliance folks, and they don't believe that there's any cause to be concerned. But you're correct that it's not a guarantee.
Now the review board that I'm talking about takes, there's a process. It's a very lengthy and long process. You realize, well, I know you've done this so many times. This could take 6-8 months, correct?
It could. What we're going to try to do is their last meeting of the year is in November. If I think the last day to try to put something up for that meeting is literally a day before the deadline under the contract, and I'm going to be speaking with buyer's counsel tomorrow to see if we can get them to get that application for certificate of need, approval, and get us in until November. If for some reason that didn't happen, we still have another opportunity rather than waiting until January hearing in order to get expedition of something to be sort of stuck on the docket in November, even if it was filed after September 4th, I think is the deadline. So we have that kind of targeted, and buyer hopefully is going to be in a position to be able to deliver that and get us on for the November hearing. If not, it would be the January hearing, or there's a possibility we would certainly ask for an expediting, whether they agree with us or not. The standard is pretty loose in terms of your hair doesn't literally have to be on fire, but there has to be some substantive reason, which we can certainly think of a number of things to indicate that the continuity of patient care would be supported by us getting this approval sooner as opposed to later.
That's all I have of him. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Diddens, go ahead.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a couple of things. I'd like to thank the current employees of the Stephenson Nursing Home for having
Mr. Diddens, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Do you have questions for the attorney?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, nothing for the attorney.
So that we don't keep him any longer and pay him any more. Ms. Williams, do you have any questions for the attorney? All right. Anyone else have any questions for Polsinelli's representative? All right, you can let him go.
Thank you, Tony. I'll be in touch.
Go ahead, Mr. Diddens.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the current employees who had the courage to come out and speak on behalf of the sale. And I'd like to thank Mr. Whalen for bringing some facts to the case about our former management company, and Mr. Bush for actually going out and visiting and talking to some people. That's important. In my opinion, we are standing at the edge of the cliff. You can vote no and just basically push us over the cliff, or you can vote yes and put out a helping hand. And I want to thank Serenity for sticking with us and taking over this situation. Thank you.
Okay. Jen and John from Serenity Estates are here. Does anyone have questions for them? Mr. Bush, go ahead.
Yes, could they come up front?
Of course. If you can just make sure the microphone is close to you, please. Hello. Go ahead, Mr. Bush.
Thank you for coming. As far as the workers and the staff at the nursing home, what will be their condition once you guys take over?
We would like to keep all of the employees that we can at the nursing home if they'd like to stay with us. We have no plan whatsoever to get rid of any employee. And we did a financial review of the current wages, and we did see that they were severely low as compared to other competitors in the area, as well as just industry standards. So we'd be looking at increasing wages.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else, Mr. Bush? Mr. Newton, did you have your button pushed?
No questions for them, but I do want to make a comment.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So as we are at the brink, as someone said, of jumping over the cliff here with this situation, and it may be the case, I think that over the years we've gotten to this place through a lot of different decisions. But one thing that concerns me is not so much who takes over the nursing home, because I've made it up in my mind a long time ago that the county's way of running the nursing home is antiquated, and the committee structure for trying to deal with the day-to-day operations, as I heard earlier, is just not the way to go. And it doesn't matter if it's Serenity or TCM or their closest competitor that actually is up for the sale. My only real concern at this point, and it's not that we don't need to move on, is that we didn't follow the procedure of trying to let the voters vote for this opportunity. And we could have did it on multiple occasions, but for whatever reason, we couldn't agree to do it. And so that's my concern. I think we must move on at some point, whether it's with this organization or another one that could come up. Unfortunately, we didn't have very many to vote, to vote or to turn in a bid into this circumstance. But nevertheless, it doesn't matter about that as much as we do need to move on. But I have a serious concern about the way we're moving on, because we didn't follow the procedures of allowing this decision to go forth before the people. So thank you, Mr. Chair, and that's all I'm going to say on tonight.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Williams, before I recognize you, do you have any questions for Serenity Estates?
No.
Okay. Is there anything you folks would like to say while you have the podium?
I would. Can I?
Go ahead.
Okay,
if you
great.
can yield for just a moment, Mrs. Williams.
Certainly. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Before I begin, I just want to thank everyone for speaking. We truly are blessed to be able to share our opinions, whether positive or negative, about moving forward with this. In applying for a CHOW, or change of operations, as a couple of individuals have shared, we would not do that until we had a signed agreement. We would not notify the state of Illinois that we were taking over a building that we did not have a signed agreement for. And it's just the process, as your attorney spoke about our purchase agreement. I want to be very clear that we are not decertifying this facility. All of the beds will remain duly certified for Medicare and Medicaid. There's a lot of concern that we are taking away Medicaid beds, and we're just simply not doing that. Every single bed is duly certified right now. We would absolutely remain Medicare and Medicaid certified. We plan to invest in remodeling and modernizing this building. We have a construction crew ready to go. The building is dated, and that is not only not attractive to new residents, it's not fair for the residents who live there. Your home may be remodeled, and I think that the residents at this nursing home also deserve a more comfortable place to live. Nothing changes for residents or families in terms of care. We are committed to continuing stability and transparency. Every change that we make will be centered on improving the quality of life and meeting both long-term care and skilled care, short-term care needs. For our staff, we value you already. We want to retain as many current team members as are willing to stay with us, give you training, resources, and support that you need to be successful. We want this place to be where people are proud to work and where there's stability in staffing, not uncertainty of if payroll is going to be funded this next payroll or not. On the business and admissions sides, we have a proven track record of turnarounds. Our Morris facility census grew from 70s to mid-70s census to 120 in a very short time. We will bring that same focus here with an intense marketing and admissions plan, working closely with referral partners, hospitals, and this community. And finally, we are prepared financially. We have approved financial backing for this. My background, I'm a PhD. I have a PhD in business and with a focus on strategic management from the University of the Cumberlands in Kentucky. I'm thoroughly trained in financial analysis and planning. I've personally reviewed the current financials of this facility and have built many pro formas and budgets for the future. I know the anticipated cash burn and have the resources in place to cover it. That means we can truly invest in this facility with confidence without putting residents or staff at risk. We are privately owned, not a large corporation. It's 2 nurses. John and I are both nurses, and we're healthcare leaders. We are deeply invested in the success of our residents and staff. We have both worked as nurses on the floor in both hospitals and nursing care facilities. We want to strengthen the current role of the nursing home in this community. We want to ensure compliance, stability, and growth. And I just want to thank you for your time.
I got a question for the chairman.
Go ahead, Mr. Hadley.
So under this management agreement, do the county employees stay as county employees, or do we lose them as county employees?
The employees would come onto our payroll.
Pardon me?
The employees would come on and they'd become Serenity Estates employees.
So they would no longer be county employees, pension-wise, health insurance?
We have health insurance, and they would come onto our health insurance
So
plans.
September 1st,
Our 401k plans and other benefits that we have as a company.
yeah, I understand that. Now, September 1st, we will no longer have them as county employees.
That would be correct.
Okay. That's not a good situation because, you know, this still has to go in front of the review board. And let me ask you this question. Let's say the review board turns you down like they did to DeKalb. And, you know, here they were county employees. Now we get them back as county employees. So
that's not correct, Mr. Hadley.
It's risky.
It's not correct. In the agreement, the management agreement would take over if it's denied.
The management agreement, they would continue to manage.
For 5 years, it's in the agreement.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to, yeah, okay, that's fine, but, and they would still be your employees then?
That is correct.
For 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Boy, not a good situation. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Anything else for Serenity Estates?
Oh, one more question. What happens to our union on September 1st?
We would have to speak with the union, and we haven't because, again, we do not have a signed APA in place.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jen and John.
Thank you.
Mrs. Williams, thank you for your patience. Press your button again, please. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. As Sam was talking, I began to think that just maybe the biggest thing for me on this sale is, because I can see all the financials just like everybody else can, that I really do feel like this should have gone to the voters to have made the decision. And that is the biggest reason why I cannot support this at this time. Thank you.
Anyone else? Real briefly, Matrix has stopped billing. They stopped earlier this week. We received correspondence. They are no longer providing that service to us because of no payment. They will not turn that information over to us, the resident information, unless they are paid. Healthcare Services Group, you all received an email today from them. They are the food provider. They also want payment now. Leverage Staffing, they want payment now, or they're pulling out their employees. Omnicare, we're getting ready at the end of this agenda on the nursing side of it to approve a repayment plan to Omnicare for pharmaceutical services. We're also looking at approving an agreement with Clipboard Staffing Agency to make sure we have staffing. So while I understand where some of you are, I hope this is a unanimous vote yes. Because if this doesn't pass tonight, there's no billing, there's no more revenue. No more revenue. It's done. There's $8.6 million in the general fund, not $8 million, for expenditures that are already budgeted. Can't be moved to just cover the nursing home. Can't shut the rest of the county down to just cover the nursing. No outburst, please, or you will be removed. Be quiet, please. If this passes, Serenity Estates will take over the liabilities on September 2nd going forward. Every single one of these vendors will stay and they will continue the services. These are people's lives. And as we learned during COVID, when residents are moved, some don't survive that move.
Point of order, you're debating the issue.
Stop, Mr. Hadley. I do run the meeting and I'm running it now.
debating this issue out here, Chair.
I'm making a comment. Please be quiet.
I think what Bill is saying is
You
if
should
you want
be
to
debating
debate
the
the
issue.
issue, you're supposed to go down to the lectern and the vice chair is supposed to come up to this chair. I think that's what he's saying.
I'm not going down to the lectern, so I'll be done. Motion on the floor is to approve, and there is a second to approve. Is there any other questions? Please cast your vote. Motion passes 12-4. No votes are Modero, Newton, Williams, and I'm assuming Hadley. I don't see your name up there.
It's at the top, it's no vote.
Oh, Mr. Hadley, yes.
No, I didn't vote yes.
No vote.
I didn't vote.
All right, very good. Motion passes. We'll move on now to the zoning.
Wait a minute, Chairman, that board's reading wrong, so I'm requesting a revote. I did not vote yes.
There were 4 no votes.
Yes.
Are you able to pull it back up, Nate? Are you able to pull it back up?
Let's pull it back up and so I can revote.
Right, he didn't vote yes. Says he didn't vote at all.
Well, I hit my button, I want to revote, so I can.
Is that the will of the board? Everybody okay with a revote?
Sure. Sure. Yes.
All right, Nate, can you reset it, please? All right, you may vote now. All right, so there's still 4 no votes. Hadley, Modero, Newton, and Williams. Motion passes. Moving on to zoning report. Mrs. Williams, will you please come up? Let's move on with the meeting, please. Mrs. Williams, please proceed with the zoning report. Yes, please.
The monthly Zoning Board of Appeals hearing was held on Thursday, August 14th, 2025. A full quorum was present. The only hearing for the night was a request for Jeff and Rochelle Spencer, and they are requesting a special use to allow for a single-family dwelling in the Ag District located at West Pinhook Road. There was 1 objector, and the board voted unanimously to approve the special use.
Is there a motion to approve? By Mr. Brandt, is there a second? By Mr. Whalen, any discussion? All right, you may go ahead and vote. And that passes unanimously. Your next item, please.
That is it?
That is all. Any other information?
No, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Move on to appointments. There's an approval of the reappointment of Brad Hartog to the Board of Review and approval of the appointment of Val Gakey to the German Valley Fire District. Mr. Frick.
I just want to correct the agenda here. Val Gakey is not being appointed to German Valley Fire. That should be Dakota Fire.
Would you like to make a motion to amend?
If that's what you'd like, I would make a motion to amend then that the approval is for the Dakota Fire District, not German Valley.
All right. Is there a second to the amendment? Mr. Newton, is there any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, we'll vote on the amendment. Go ahead. Hold on, please. Is it ready, Nate? You may vote. And the amendment passes unanimously. So we still have the 2 appointments. Reappointment. By Mr. Brandt, second by Mr. Jogerst. Any discussion on the reappointment and the appointment? All right. 1 second to reset this. You may vote. And that also passes unanimously. For the sake of time, I will forego a chairman's report. We'll move directly into action items and information from standing committees. Mr. Whalen, you are up first with 2 action items.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First one, hopefully everybody had a chance to look at the list. This was approved unanimously by the Finance Committee. It's the sale of multiple properties to the city of Freeport for reclamation. And if you look at the total to the county, it was $6,205. I would so move as presented to approve
Is there a
this.
second? Second by Mr. Newton. Is there any discussion? Just waiting for it to reset, Nate. You may vote. And that passes unanimously. Your next item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secondly, the National Opioid Settlement had some additions to it, so we need to check the box and say that we want to be a part of the settlement process. And so I would move to approve the action of being part of that settlement process as presented.
Is there a second by Mr. Jogerst? Any discussion? Seeing none, you may vote. And that passes unanimously. Any information out of your committee, Mr. Whalen?
I would just say the budget process is beginning. We've got all the committee chairs have been working with their department heads to start mulling through the budget and getting that stuff. So we should start reviewing that at finance next month. So if you have any thoughts, questions, comments about the budget, I would encourage you to come to finance next month. That would be great to see everybody. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Move on to public property and safety. Mr. Bush, no action items, any information out of your committee?
No more than our committee as well has been starting the budget process. I hope that everyone got a chance to come early today to get a tour of the courthouse. The sheriff was opening it up where you get the opportunity. He gave me a tour, and I was very, very excited and pleased how things are moving along. Other than that, that's it.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll move on to the administration committee. Mr. Jogerst. Let me get your microphone on here.
All right,
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. We have one item, approval of resolution establishing the holiday calendar for 2026. That was in your packet. I would like to make a motion for that with an adjustment to February 12th, and that would be for the courthouse employees only. And I'll explain later if I can get a second.
Are you asking to amend as
Yes.
presented?
Yes.
Okay, could you please repeat your motion or what you're amending?
I would like to amend the resolution to have the February 12th holiday for the courthouse employees only. And if I get a second, I'll explain.
Is there a second? By Mr. Frick.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so we had a conversation that came up late in the administration meeting about the fact that the courthouse employees always get an extra holiday. And so in that moment, we actually moved forward this resolution that had everybody in the county getting that February 12th or adding that day in just to get the courthouse the extra holiday. But going back and reviewing past years and schedules and everything, it's always been the courthouse people got 15 holidays and the rest of the county got 14. And I think to make it fair, to make it equitable, we should keep that the same, and that's what my amendment does. It keeps it at 15 for the courthouse people and 14 for everybody else.
Okay. Is there any other discussion on the amendment? Hang on, Mr. Newton, let me get your microphone on. Ask again, please.
What is the holiday that was in question?
Lincoln's birthday.
Lincoln's birthday is the one that we added back in there. So.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Newton?
No, sir.
Okay. Mrs. Williams, on the amendment only.
I just have a question on how the other employees feel about only getting 1 day less. Is there some other way that
I can
they
address
get
that.
compensated for that day?
I can address that. They will be getting the exact same number of holidays that they've always got, which is 14. And the courthouse people will be getting the same amount of holidays they've always got. So there's no change in the number of holidays for anybody.
And it's been like this for a long time, apparently.
Yes.
Okay.
The administrator wants to comment on that real quick.
Sure.
I'm going to recognize her before I get to Mr. Diddens.
Just for clarification, the courthouse employees were granted an additional day of Christmas Eve starting in 2025 and 2026. Prior to that, the employees outside of the courthouse had Christmas Eve instead of Lincoln's birthday, so that it was the same amount of holidays for all employees.
Anything else, Mrs. Williams?
No.
All right, then we will move on to Mr. Diddens. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to make a comment that we are way too generous with vacation and holiday pay, not vacation, holidays in the county. Just want to get that on record.
Anyone else on the amendment? Seeing none, you can go ahead and vote on the amendment. And it looks like the amendment passes 14-1. Mr. Modero voted no. So we're back to do you have a motion to approve? We don't have a motion on the floor to approve.
Yeah, I need a motion to.
You made a motion to amend.
I did. Okay, well, I need a motion to approve as amended.
That would be great.
And I will make that.
All right, is there a second? By Mrs. Hayes. Mrs. Hayes, do you have a comment, question?
I do.
Can you press your button, please?
I have.
One more time. Oh, there we go. No. Stop. Just 1 second, please. Well, I'm pressing it. I'm not sure why it's blinking for you. Let's try it again. Press it again, please. On the left. Mr. Newton, can you assist her, please? Too many open?
George is still.
Go ahead, Mrs. Hayes.
Thank you, Chairman. I just had a question on the calendar. What is spring holiday? That's Good Friday. That should be called Good Friday. That's not spring holiday. That's very that's very.
I think on this, if I can speak, I think on this resolution, it does say Good Friday.
The court schedule say spring holiday.
Which we cannot change the court schedule. That's dictated by the chief judge.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments on the motion to approve as amended? Seeing none, go ahead and vote, please. And that passes 14-1 with Mr. Diddens voting no. Anything else out of your committee, Mr. Joe Gersten?
Oh, there we go. We're also working on the budgets, and we should be in good shape for next month. So other than that, thank you, Chairman.
All right, very good. Thank you. We'll move on to court services. Mr. Diddens, could you press your button, please? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have no action items, and we're working on the budget also and moving along nicely. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll move on then to Nursing Center, Mrs. Baker. Please press your button. Thank you.
All right, approval of interim administrator addendum, Bobby Wade. I will make a motion to approve. If I get a second, I will have more information.
Second by Mr. Whalen. Go ahead, Mrs. Baker.
All right, this addendum is more of a ratification and approval. This was ratified at the committee. Ms. Wade was interviewed by us, set to start, and literally after confirming with the recruiter, Bobby was offered another position at a different location, and she was going to start the next day and withdraw from us. But she was able to negotiate 2 weeks and started with us. We had her from July 24th to August 8th. She did a great job at the facility. She also was the one that renewed our license along with Chairman Holmes, which is on the wall out there now, and the staff really enjoyed working with her and benefited from her. So that's all I have to say.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, you can go ahead and vote. And that passes unanimously. Your next item, please.
Yes, approval of interim administrator addendum for Scott, I'm going to butcher this, Hotchkiss, I butchered it for the last time. This is the same thing as Ms. Wade's above. I will make a motion to approve, and if I get a second, I was going to ask him to come up, but I see he has left.
Second by Mr. Whalen. Any questions or comments? Mr. Hadley, go ahead.
Yes, Chairman, thank you. I forgot to ask these questions. Hopefully it can be answered. I see that we're allowing him to make a trip home every weekend back and forth. Where does he live?
Go ahead, Administrator Newcomer.
Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Okay. Are we lodging him here then?
Yes, he is staying at the Country Inn and Suites.
Okay, I didn't see that in the agreement, that we're taking care of that, but okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and vote, please. That passes unanimously. Your third item, please, Mrs. Baker.
Yep, approval of clipboard staffing agency. I will make a motion to approve, and if I get a second, I will follow with more information.
Second by Mr. Whalen. Go ahead, Mrs.
All
Baker.
right, the second weekend, Ms. Wade was overseeing the facility. She reached out to Ms. Newcomer, and they got a hold of Mr. Larson. Ms. Wade was concerned that she wouldn't have the CNA staff to man the facility. She had a working relationship with Clipboard Staffing Agency. They provided an agreement, which was a little bit less than expensive than what we are currently using for our agency. Mr. Larson reviewed the documents and suggested that she signed it and that the board ratified the agreement. We have used them quite a bit since we've got them on board.
It's very timely with the other agency potentially pulling out. Any other discussion, comments, questions? Yes, Mrs. Baker and Mr. Whalen made the motion in second, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and vote, please. Motion is approved unanimously. Your next item, please.
Approval of the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services, CMS, the civil monetary penalty. This fine was noticed and received. There is an option to repay 35% discount. This is the federal fine that is correlated to the events that the state issued a fine as well. The original fine was $43,440, and the 35% would be $22 or $22,386. With that, I make a motion to approve.
All right, is there a second? Second by Mr. Newton. Any discussion, questions? Go ahead, Mr. Hadley.
Yes, just so the board knows also that from denied payment of new Medicare and Medicaid admissions, which will impose from February 26, 2025, discounted effective to June 20th. We will not be getting that that money, and we don't even have a number. That could be upwards of 200,000, maybe even more, that we're losing because of mistakes that were made. So I just want the board to be aware of lost income. So, okay, thank you.
Mrs. Williams, go ahead.
Where's the money coming from?
That's a great question. Any ideas?
No, but I'm guessing that we're still going to take it out of the nursing center, correct? Out of the money that you've got in reserves, or I'm sorry, the money that we see on the sheet that we see every day.
We're setting aside enough every single day to cover the next payroll
Correct.
for next week, next Friday.
Correct.
Administrator Newcomer.
Just for clarification, this is a fine that they have applied for financial hardship on. We're seeking the approval in case that hardship gets denied, but we have not gotten word on that yet.
Does this have like a 10-day period too?
Since they filed for the hardship, they have to rule on that, and then the 10-day would kick in if it's denied, is my understanding of it.
Will we be notified when the decision is made where the money is coming from?
How much is set aside currently for payroll for next Friday, the 29th?
There's 116,000 something. I can look.
Payroll is approximately 120,000 per pay period.
Mm-hmm.
Omnicare for medicine, prescription drugs, food service, staffing agencies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Questions, comments, anything further?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments from any other board members? You may go ahead and vote. That passes unanimously. And Mrs. Baker, your final item, Omnicare, strangely enough.
Approval of repayment plan to Omnicare, the pharmaceutical company. Our current provider informed that we are in need to enter this repayment plan agreement with them, or the center would be paying a cash in advance status. They have worked with our AP department to put together this agreement. As the board was informed earlier, there is no penalty for early repayment. With that, I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second by Mr. Joger? Staying discussion. Administrator Newcomer, your microphone was on. I can see it's off now. Questions, comments? All right, you may go ahead and vote.
No, that you must. That got
And that passes unanimously. Any other information?
Census are 45, and I just would like to give a huge thanks to the staff out there. They have stepped up, learned new tasks, stayed on top of vendors calling, and along with Ms. Newcomer, she has been out there doing Monday morning meetings with the staff and Scott, the new administrator. She makes sure that the employees and everybody has the right contact. I don't know how much people are aware that Georgia does a lot for this facility. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to planning and development. Mr. Frick, could you please press your microphone button? Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not the last one, but at least I get to be less negative tonight. Is that all right?
That's great.
In your packet, there's a map included in there. I'm just bringing up for discussion because we have Mr. Dave Thompson, who's a constituent that would like to donate to the county approximately 11 acres next to the Black Hawk Monument Park. And the map here shows you, if you have it, or if you need one, I have hard copies too. The yellow in the map is the current park, and towards the top or to the north and to the west, there's shows a 2 in yellow, and then it's outlined in red. It's about 11 acres. That's all wooded, and he is looking to donate that to the county if we pay for the transfer and that sort of thing. But what we're looking at the Planning Development Committee is before we take this on, it's going to take some work. It's going to take some work in the acreage, in the woods, to make it usable for the community. And we'd like to have some ideas, and we'd like to form a committee. If you would like to be on that committee, please let me know so that we could come up with a comprehensive plan to show him that we're really going to do something with the park, because he doesn't want to just see it be trash and just another chunk of unmanaged property that's attached to the park there. So I'm making you aware of that, and if you'd like to be on that committee, please notify me, and we will find a time to meet to do that. And since I am the liaison between the Soil and Water Conservation District and our board, they're having their fish sale. Some of you asked me about that once, so it's on their Facebook page. You need to have that in by the 5th of September. And with that, I don't have anything else.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Frick. Move on to Public Works. Mr. Brandt, no action items, any information out of your committee, sir?
I don't have any information that'll top Mr. Frick's fish sale, so no. Thank you.
All right, very good. Is there a motion to adjourn? By Mr. Bush, second by Mrs. Hayes. Any discussion on adjourning? Seeing none, you may vote.
Stock it. So I didn't bring it up.
Motion is unanimous. Thank you, everyone.
This meeting was going to drag on and on, but before the fall election last year,